Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, very quickly, the Minister spoke about political interference and giving the impression that this board is free from political interference. I want to just bring him to, in the new Act, Section 10, first of all, the Minister appoints the majority of members in the board of directors. There are 7 members, he appoints 4. And the 4 that he will appoint, well, but he'll appoint 4. Secondly, Section 10 is the same as Section 13. And I remember when we were in government, members of the opposition creating a lot of problems with ministers giving policy directives. It's exactly the same wording as Section 10 in the new Act and Section 13 in the old Act. But I just want Madam Speaker to make another point about the Jazz Festival. We have heard constant criticisms about the Jazz Festival. I want to know, was any study done? Did we sit down and get somebody to do a complete audit of the relevancy of the Jazz Festival? What was the impact of the Jazz Festival on marketing? We just stayed there and we just said that the Jazz Festival was useless and then we need to downgrade it. Where is the scientific or the statistical or the marketing proof that said that the Jazz Festival needed to be treated how it was treated? You see, Madam Speaker, all of us like or want the tourism industry to prosper. But I don't think it's right. Like one day I was speaking, the Minister of Tourism told me, you see, you don't speak with me about tourism, in his arrogance. I was Minister of Tourism for 10 years. When I was Minister of Tourism, there was 6 new hotels were built when I was Minister of Tourism. But he told me, don't speak to me about tourism. Don't speak to me about tourism. That's what he told me. You understand? That is the arrogance. The Prime Minister and I, we worked in the tourism industry together. When he wasn't in the state, he wasn't Prime Minister. He and I discussed a lot about the tourism industry. We shared a lot of views. We had opinions on it. But all of a sudden, because you have become a minister, don't speak to you against that. Don't speak to you about that again. Because you know so much now to speak to you about. I'm saying to you that every country has a marquee festival. Every country has something it's known for. Brazil is known for its carnival. Trinidad is known for its carnival. One marquee festival. There is in Grenada, there is yachting. Trying to build one major festival the country is known for. I'm saying to you, did we sit down and analytically look at whether the Jazz Festival had passed its prime? You said it had lost its spunk. So all I'm saying is that, did we just say that? Or is there any proof? Or is there any documented study that says the Jazz Festival had lost its appeal? That is all I'm saying. Secondly, Madam Speaker, the member for Kashmir South made several very important points. But there's one point that he made that I want to emphasize. And it's the treatment of the employees. If you look at that act, the old act, Section 22, transitional provisions, you will see all persons in the employment of the former board immediately before the appointed day shall be deemed to be employed by the board established under this act and subject to this act on terms and conditions which taken as a whole are not less favorable. These are called the transitional provisions for the staff. In that act, in that new act, if you look at transitional provisions, there is nothing about the staff. There's absolutely nothing about the staff in the transitional provisions in the new act. And if you have to take it to its logical conclusion, That means that when the new authority came into being, all the staff had been dismissed. Because there is nothing there that speaks about, and I need you to tell me where in this new act that speaks about in this new act that speaks about the staff who were employed at the tourist board before. So, Madam Speaker, all I'm saying is that the tourism industry is vital and important, and that is one thing all of us agree. All of us agree on that. It's vital and it's important. One, the Prime Minister may have his own version or his own objectives as to where the tourism industry must go. We may have a different view, but all of us understand it's important, and all of us want to work to make it succeed. So I don't think the tourism industry is an industry where you must try to make cheap shots and try to, just for the political gain. I think that this act is not fundamentally different to the old act. You wanted to change it, and I'm in full agreement. When you're in government, you can make the changes you want. That's what the people put you there for. But do not begin to call people political cronies and just cast them aside, and the staff, and you fire the staff unceremoniously. I mean, I'm saying that's not necessary. There are some things we're supposed to be mature about. And I'm saying the tourism industry is one thing. We should not act in that manner, because it will affect all of us. And no one of us, there's no one inside here who has all the answers to the tourism industry. It's too dynamic. It's too dynamic. It's too fluid for any one of us here to have all the answers for the industry. So, I think, finally, Madam Speaker, the Tourist Board made an appointment in June the 16th of a foreign American representative to represent St. Lucia. And it says the person will be responsible for promoting St. Lucia's tourism offerings in the United States and driving U.S. visitors to the island through strategic public relations and communication tactics. There was a St. Lucian doing that exact job. There was a St. Lucian who was representing St. Lucia in the States. We got rid of that St. Lucian, who has 20 years industry experience, more than 20 years. We've got rid of her and we employed someone else. And I'm sure that person you employ, that person can't find soufre on their own. That PR person you employed cannot find soufre on their own. You must drive them to soufre. But you've employed her. You've got rid of what you have of this solution. You've got rid of her. You've got rid of her. Instead of allowing her, well, let's let her work with that new person. You've got rid of her, and then you've appointed somebody else. So, Madam Speaker, I believe that the government wanted to change the act. It's in the government's authority and power to change the act. But I think in changing the act, they should not pretend that all was bad, the industry was in a mess, and they are the saviors of the industry. And there are many things, Madam Speaker, that have been said here in this honorable House that give the impression that this country was a dump. And this government will take it out from being a dump. It was a dump. There's nothing that was bad. The economy was in shambles and everything was bad, Madam Speaker. Even if reports say that the economy had shown signs of improvement, we come here and we castigate everything. We behave as if the country was hell. I understand that you want to grant charge and you want to make us look bad. But don't appear as if everything was a mess. When you're in opposition, you did the same thing. You're in government, you're doing the same thing. Your position. I came here this morning and I spoke about, just 5 minutes, I'm sorry, I know you need to leave. I spoke about artificial intelligence. I want to ask the honourable members to go to Google futureoflife.org. Benefits and Risks of Artificial Intelligence by Mark Tegmark. And I also want you to look at Cambridge Analytica. And you see the point I was asking, the question I was asking. Because you wanted to make it appear as if I was insane. I just said something from anywhere. I want you to go and Google it and check out Cambridge Analytica, and you will see the point I was making as the relations between artificial intelligence, data analytica, and political persuasion. I want you to look at for yourself and see. And when we come back, we'll discuss it. So, Madam Speaker, I want to tell the Honourable Member for Ansel Canreens that he's brought a new act. That's in his rights. He can do it, because that's what the people put him there for. But do not pretend as if he found the industry in such a mess and he's a savior for the industry. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.